Listen, guys, I'm sorry. I'm sorry I forgot about Totally Spies. Like, I totally forgot season 7 was a thing. They even, sponsored me for the video game. I forgot. It's my bad. I had tunnel vision making, super long deep dive videos. I'm fixing that now. I've been covering too much mature, tough content. I want comfort. I want fun. I want girly pop. It's time for me to start jumping back into my roots. You're about to see me talk about Totally Spies. I'm gonna cover a little bit of Winx. I don't know, that's as far as I've gotten in my plans. So if you don't know, season 7 of Totally Spies released, and the animation style is a little different. They're supposed to be older now, or at least that was the word on the grapevine. I'll talk about that in the video. And yes, we are now just pretending the ending of season 6 didn't happen because... If you don't know what I'm talking about, go watch my unhinged recap of Totally Spies because it's good. Honestly, I'm not gonna lie, I think I did a good job on that video. I liked my unhinged recaps. I have to be in the right mindset to do an unhinged recap. I have to believe that I'm funny. Now, only the first 10 episodes are released in English, which is the real reason I've been waiting so long to talk about it, because it's slowly releasing in English, and I was going to wait for every single episode to be released in English, but it's taking too long and I want to watch the show. So a lot of people talked about the change in animation style, how it's more rounded and reflects the modern time with Bean Mouth and all that. And I feel the same, but I think it holds enough of the original flair that it's a decent combination. Mandy is still here, the anime-esque inspirations are still here, I'm not upset, and I'm ready to see where this goes. I thought they were supposed to be adults. Am I wrong?
Don't mind if I do. Coconut and geranium with... Wait, I know this scent.
I need to forget this horrible, disgusting mission ever happened.
Oh. I'm not sure how I feel about this. I mean, not the fact that they're using, old clips of previous seasons instead of reanimating them. I don't care about that. The animators get to make their lives easier. That's fine by me. I just never really liked the episodes where Mandy was a spy. She's always just been annoying, and that was literally it. Oh, but... negative, that's the point. Yeah, sorry, if I want to be happy when watching this show, instead of annoyed, at least let her have her comeuppance every once in a while. Nitpick, I know. And I know it's going against what I just said about giving the animators a break, but a magic hole appearing Looney Tunes style instead of an actual aperture, it just looks so wrong. The style I don't mind, but the animation I need to be harsh about. It's very reminiscent of early Red Minus animation, the kind of animation that, not bad, but not quite as good as what we're used to. Jerry dabs for no reason? How long has this been in development? So it's been a while since they've gone on a mission, and during their newest mission in Singapore, they really beat themselves up saying that they're out of touch and are afraid of being fired. Here we're introduced to the Singapore branch of Whoop. Now, I am completely ignorant of Singaporean culture or history, so I'm not going to be able to comment on anything I'm seeing. Apologies in advance, I'm just another ignorant American. And this is Toby, the cyborg scientist that creates all their gadgets. What I do appreciate is that this show does hit all the marks of the original series. The over-the-top reactions, the gadget breakdown, Fally Girl talking, bad jokes that we actually love, and they are delivering on a whole bunch more dressing up with this setting.
The big boss is coming through!
I call BS. There's no way her hair would look like that after wearing a motorcycle helmet, especially with type 4C hair. They now have cute pets in the form of little drones, which I just don't understand why these studios feel the need to add a cute little creature. It makes the whole show feel more like it's just trying to sell us something rather than be an entertaining show.
The lithium battery! So that's what's powering Frankenpanda!
Oh no, it's powered by the same kind of battery that my phone uses and almost every other electronic out there. Okay, good bad news. Jerry is retiring, which is a bummer, but his daughter, the woman with the magical hair, Zerlina, is now their boss. Now they're living in Singapore, new apartment, new social life, new life entirely. And Mandy somehow knows Jerry's personal phone number, calls him up and tells him she wants to be a spy again. I'm guessing they aren't adults now. Like, they're in school still. Well, they're in college. I mean, you're still an adult when you're in college, but you know what I mean. I imagine they'd be like in their 30s. Also, there's another new character, their new school friend, Glitter Star, who is voiced by Jodie Dew, who originally voiced Brittany in the previous seasons. And she's actually Singaporean, so that's actually super fitting. I'm not 100% certain if this is her Instagram, but it would shock me if it isn't. And now we're back to the proper full formula for the TV show. And everything feels right now. I didn't realize how much I wanted the formula. Everything felt wrong in the first episode, probably because it wasn't what I was used to, and now I feel like I can really review this. And I mean that so much. All the quirkiness that we loved from the original series is now here after the first episode. A big aspect of the show isn't just the cool spy show, but also just watching the girls being girls. It needs that mix of slice of life fighting the super spy secret, otherwise it's just not Totally Spies.
But how can we find out? I got an idea. Hey, Toby, we need you to pull up footage on the cooking demo.
No problemo. I can hack into cell phones, live feed, whatever.
Nobody is concerned about this? Don't get me wrong, super useful for spying, but also I would immediately be paranoid he's trying to get into my phone. He is a young teenage boy, and you are 3 very pretty girls. What this season does a lot better than the previous is the integration of social media. Obviously, we've had enough time for social media to no longer be considered a fad, so that makes sense.
Nice crowd, Alex. Well, I crowdfunded my research to measure interpersonal interactions with drones.
Check it out, Fab Friends. Yep, we do clean up pretty good. It's true.
But also, this villain is stealing other people's talents to get clout online. Their superstar status is dependent on it, but she can never compete with the ultimate staple of cute animals doing cute things. But this really makes you realize, you know how China is integrating like a social score for each person? Like the better of a citizen you are, the more you follow the law and junk, then like the higher your score is and the more you're able to do, the more opportunities you're given. It's very dystopian, don't get me wrong, but have you ever think about social media kind of being treated a little bit the same way? Not to that same extreme, but like people often hunt down clout because it advances themselves in their social circles. If people like feel like their livelihood is being taken away, because for them, a certain aspect of their livelihood is being taken away. And so kids from a young age become hyper obsessed with social media. They make posts about how many friends they have and how many sleepovers they go to and you know, the awesome new gifts they get for Christmas and the expensive makeup and skincare products they get. And like, they're not even 17. I mean, like, unless you have like eczema or some skin condition, you probably don't need Drunk Elephant. And I use eczema as a specific example because my partner has eczema. Not to call her out, I love her a lot and I accept every single part of her. Also, Drunk Elephant will not help your eczema. I don't know why I brought that up. Like, 10-year-olds don't need to be making get ready with me content on TikTok. They can explore makeup. Absolutely, not saying that, but they don't need to be televising it and broadcasting it to a bunch of strangers on the internet in the attempt of garnering favor with them, because that's weird. It's like the problem with like kid YouTubers, but worse, because now it's everyone. Especially now that there isn't a space online for kids. There's really just social media. Except for Wizard 101. That's still kicking. We still got that one. Unrealistic, rich people wearing strange clothes is not only normal, but also something the paparazzi would definitely want to capture. To be fair, I feel like the animation is just a little better now that we're past the first episode. Like, they knew the first episode wouldn't be re-aired, so they gave it the least amount of effort. What I really appreciate is that they reanimate the mouths to match the phonemes of the English voice actors, which, I mean, that explains why it's taking them time to release the English version. If there's any French viewers on the channel, tell me, what is your theory for why they moved everything to Singapore? Because my theory is that America is now so unappealing to Europeans with, the political everything that's been going on, that they figured it'd be more appealing to their core audience to just move it to Singapore, some country that, honestly, I haven't heard anything about Singapore in the news for a long time. How is Singapore doing? And it would appeal to their core audience. Their core audience is not Americans. I want to make that clear to everyone watching this video. The core audience is not Americans. We're probably like the secondary audience, I'll go that far, but we are not the core audience. But I also don't know the feelings in general zeitgeist of non-Americans, that especially Europeans, that especially the French. So let me know in the comments down below. Engagement bait. I'm also just legitimately curious. It would actually help my job. Mandy shows up to Singapore and their apartment and just welcomes herself in, so is she like a spy now? She doesn't explain anything, she's just here now. On Reddit, Mitchell Legend said, I just headcanon that Mandy has always secretly wanted to be their friend, so she just followed them across the globe to continue her pursuit, even though they clearly hate her. Yeah, I feel like they just forgot about the fact that they need to explain that.
Guys, I think there's something wrong with the whoopee. Yeah, the driver.
Aw, they're not forgetting about Jerry. I love that. Probably because he's eventually going to be part of the eventual Mandy storyline, but hey, I'm still happy. There's an episode where they literally just rip off Pokemon Go, but the monster becomes real and they need to use their video game skills to defeat them, which, it's creative. I actually like the concept. It's not very engaging watching them tap a screen to beat up monsters. They literally ran into the same problem that Pokemon has, where no one knows what to do with the trainer during Pokemon battles. And like, they're just standing in the background in Smash. In their core games, they're just off screen standing there and pointing dramatically. I get their trainers. Don't get me wrong, like, the coach of an MMA fighter ain't gonna go into the ring with them, but this ain't real life. The trainers need to be doing something.
Finally! You really do rock, Toby.
Yeah, you do. You even got a Chef Flambe all-in-one ultra cooker.
Oh, she's getting excited about cooking appliances. I guess they really are adults.
Oh, hey, is this a hatch?
Yes. Come on, Spies, jump.
Oh yes, a conveniently sized human hatch.
Whoa. Look at these. It's like all the old stuff from those videos where kids see old stuff.
Oh yeah, I love watching those videos where adults ridicule kids for, let me check my notes, for taking advantage of the modern technology that we provided them. Aha! LMAO, look at those kids. They don't know what a Walkman is, or a rotary phone, or a VCR player, because we gave them a handheld device that does literally all of that. So everything that can connect to the internet is coming alive and attacking people, so the only way they can get around the problem is to go retro and use a Whoop office from the 60s. And we get a throwback to the core inspiration of the show, Charlie's Angels, even though that's like a 70s show, which I can't help but smile at because that's so cute. Honestly, the most unrealistic part of this is that Clover is able to break through the window. Those are made of like really hard acrylic nowadays.
It's a vintage recipe.
Whoa! Seriously, is there any way in which vintage does not rule?
Well, the technology nowadays sure is a lot better, but a lot of other things have gotten worse, clothes, furniture, shoes, cookware, food, houses, fridges, hand tools, just about literally everything else. Even if our technology has gotten better, what we use to make those technologies has gotten worse too. So the new animation studio behind the show is called Somewhere Animation under the Media One company, who apparently also worked on Temtem, and their whole team is some kid named Arthur, who's the managing director. Geez, he's like 6 years old and he's already farther in his career than I am. What have I been doing the last 27 years? Media One has several different animation studios under it, and they have several different projects that I recognize, like Miraculous, the Iron Man animated series, and Sonic Boom, along with a bunch of other shows that I kind of want to cover because they look really cute. Let me know if you guys recognize any of these and want me to cover them.
The foot's a match, but this is a book of legendary creatures. They don't exist.
Alex, you were the one who had a thing for Martin Mystery. How dare you say that cryptozoological creatures don't exist? Funny enough, I was expecting this season to kind of be like a reboot, but we're bringing back possibly the most notorious villain, Lumiere, the movie maker, and I'm not sure if I'm happy about it or not. I kind of wanted a bold new direction for Totally Spies, but we're getting more of the same, and I want the formula, but with different elements. Major props to this season for figuring out how to make Mandy actually helpful. They get brainwashed to constantly bicker and argue with each other, and Clover has the idea to call the only other person that can get in their heads, Mandy.
Mandy speaking.
Not that troll.
Are you nuts?
Remind me, what did you think of Sam's game?
Where to begin? Sam thinks she's such a gamer, but she's a low-score loser.
Oh, probably because she hangs out with sad sacks like you and Alex.
My friends? Sad sacks?
Don't talk about my besties like that.
You know what I'm curious about? Is regularly aired TV, like cable, is that still pretty normal in Europe? That being specifically France? Or is it like America where it's basically no one has cable and everything is streaming services? Because I technically don't know. I'm trying to wrap my head around why they would stick to the same formula with Totally Spies, where every episode is standalone. Not that I'm complaining, I like this, but in terms of like a business decision, I can't really rationalize how this is better for them. I mean, then again, Bluey is super popular, so I guess episodic episodes still have their place. I mean, this is for kids. Okay, never mind. So a lot of people were upset at the style change, but after watching maybe 8 episodes, I'm already used to it. Do I prefer the old style, especially the style of season 6? Absolutely. But it still feels like Totally Spies, that is this season, carries over the soul of the show. It's not so much of a deviation that it feels like it's not even the same show anymore, so we're good. When it comes to Toby, I think he provides appropriate comic relief. He's super smart, but also a slacker and goofy. He's young and wants to have fun, and he never overstays his welcome. I think he's just a good addition to the show. He matches the girls' energy. I miss Jerry's dry humor, but this isn't bad.
Oh no, it's Glitter Star. Totally submerged right now, Glitter Star. Call you later.
I know that struggling to hide their secret identity is part of the gag, but they could just tell them that they work for like the government and have secret security clearance. They're old enough now to where that's plausible. At least Sam could argue that. And if they have security clearance, that also means they can't have their phone in their hypothetical government building, which is why they didn't answer the call. Also, why is their phone number the same as their compact number? That never made sense to me. Shouldn't this be a secure channel? A lot of people theorized that Clover was going to be a lesbian, or at least, bi, in this new season, and I'm sorry to report that is not the case. It's not even like, they say they're friends, but the subtext is clearly there and they're dating. It's just not a thing. Or maybe they changed it for the English version, I don't know. It sure would be nice if I had a convenient VPN sponsorship to watch the French episodes, but sadly I don't, because no one likes to sponsor the channel anymore. So this video is sponsored by my beautiful patrons. I talked a lot about how I was feeling bad and not good and awful in my previous video covering the Soul Eater manga, and a lot of you, and I mean a lot of you, and I mean my phone was blowing up, decided to lighten my financial burden by jumping onto my Patreon. Thank you guys so much. I literally can't do YouTube without your support, and with how wishy-washy different months are with how much a video earns, just a single dollar is so great, honestly. And you have no idea how much it warms my heart knowing so many of you listened to that big ramble of me just being open and vulnerable with you guys, which I thought everyone was just gonna skip and be like, we all got problems. Click away. I'm gonna slowly incorporate your guys' suggestions in order to not become slowly miserable in my work anymore. I mean, speaking of which, some of my friends decided to take us all out to the Georgia Aquarium to help me just not feel alone. And we went to literally every exhibit, saw every single bit of wildlife we could, and it was a bit of a walk because Georgia has the second biggest aquarium in the world. And of course, after that, We went to Waffle House together because it's Georgia. Also, Waffle House in Colorado tastes like garbage. It's so greasy, my stomach hurts. Georgia Waffle House, or I think just Southern Waffle House, is different. Like, it's still greasy, but it doesn't hurt my stomach. I think it's like marginally better ingredients, and it's weird. So like, if you're in not the South and you try Waffle House and you hate it, keep in mind that it's probably because you're just not in the South. It's like a California In-N-Out thing, where it's just better in California. But even though that was really sweet of them, I still need to make better changes in my life with what I do. Because I do really like connecting with you guys and giving you this content, and don't click away, the video is not done. Some of you missed us going out shopping for dolls and having segments where I vlogged what we do. So I'm thinking of incorporating like just small segments of my videos where I vlog about things I like or where we went, just to like force myself to go outside and have it still be productive for my work. Let me know if that's something you want to see. But now, let's continue with Totally Spies.
I need new clothes.
Flash news. Fast fashion is killing the planet, and I'm not gonna let that happen.
Alex just became my favorite character. We need more shows sending positive messages. I feel like this is an apolitical take that everyone could get behind. We don't really see that anymore. Everyone politicizes everything to where we can't instill actual positive messages in our cartoons anymore. Honestly, I don't buy any clothes made exclusively with polyester. It's natural fibers or nothing. Sad Statistician said, season 7 so far is a mess story and release-wise. It feels like the IP is still stuck in 2005 and refuses to change or adapt, and remains a letdown. And I understand that sentiment. I wouldn't go so far as to call it a letdown. As a fan of Totally Spies, this is just more Totally Spies, and that's pretty much what I wanted. A little bit of a change I would be welcome to, a bit more of a change that is, but at the end of the day, this is what I wanted. I think the lack of change with direction and story will prevent us from actually getting additional seasons or reboots. I would agree that Totally Spies could use a risky new reboot that changes the game entirely, something with an overarching story, not so much more mature, but more of something that would appeal to an older teen demographic. As a lot of the fan base is currently around my age, it may be worth having Totally Spies age up a little. The only thing that scares me is not getting the bad CW drama treatment like we got with the Netflix Winx series. They can definitely go too far with this idea, but this season still feels a little too safe. Currently, there's only 10 episodes in English, so that's all I'm able to review until I get a convenient VPN sponsor. I'm planning on touching base with ongoing shows to keep up with regular content that's topical and more consumable on the channel. Right now, the only thing that surprises me is that I haven't seen any announcements for upcoming toys for Totally Spies. At this point, I'm not entirely sure how these studios make money on cartoons anymore, because that was like the whole point. You release a cartoon, it sells toys, that's how you make the majority of your money. Now, like what? Do you just like get paid to make a show and like you just try to keep your costs as low as possible so that you can keep the difference? Is that it now? Or more importantly, if there's any merchandise whatsoever, it's only gonna be available in France and Europe. I mean, there's some posts on their Instagram that shows them releasing book tie-ins, and it's all in French, and other than that, that's all I know of. I mean, they also have magazines that feature the new season, but magazines aren't really all that well known and popular in America anymore. We have the new video game that got released, but other than that, I guess they don't plan on investing too much money on the merchandise and you just want to see how people are receptive to the season. Lux and the Lady made a boba tea and compact cookie video as part of a paid partnership for promotion for the new season, which looks absolutely adorable. But when I mentioned that a mature or aged up version of the show is somewhat needed, apparently they agree. A live action TV series is in production at Amazon, announced by their official Instagram and published in Variety. I wanted to ask you guys what you thought of the new season to gauge your reaction of the show. I do like the animation, I don't really watch it, but the thing that peeves me is Mei Lin being called Glitter Star in English-speaking countries. It does not do anything really extra. It is not bad, it is just more of what we already had. It is on the baseline, it is not dropping the bar, but not bringing it to new heights either. I like the animation more than I expected. I am not super sure about the new voices. Would have liked to see the old voice actors come back, but studio politics, am I right? All in all, it feels like something they could have done at any point since the last season, and it would have been the same. Honestly, kind of boring. I used to love Totally Spies when I was a kid. The new show does not seem that interesting to me. Tastes change and evolve as we grow older, so maybe the show is just not for me anymore. I'm hoping the live action adaptation isn't just the TV show, but live action. A lot of the time they'll make a cartoon into live action and they'll, without changing like anything, and it loses everything that made it unique and special, or they'll change like the core elements that we loved and not replace them with anything better. I'm looking at you, Code Lyoko. But the live action adaptation may be exactly what we need to really get this series up and running again. So I'm crossing my fingers. Can I do both? I can't. I'm crossing my fingers. I'm expecting the worst and hoping for the best. Personally, I'm happy with the show, but I agree with a lot of you. It's not good, but it's not bad. I think the most important comment I read was this. Didn't know it was out, kind of forgot. And yeah, as I started this whole video, I forgot too. The surest way for a franchise to die is to make sure no one knows about it. Like, there's a Looney Tunes movie that's currently playing in theaters and no one knows about it. Marketing should be half the budget. I'm a marketing major, I went to college for this. It should be like half the budget. Ironically, when financial times are hard, companies usually cut money out of the marketing department, which directly affects literally everything else. And most of the marketing is happening in France. You can see videos and of promo boxes and events happening in areas around France. So it makes sense why us Americans didn't see it too much. We really just saw the video game being promoted, and that's about it because it was around the holiday seasons. The marketing team no doubt just had a smaller budget to allot to America. Does it hurt? Yes, it does, but I can't blame them. If you made it to the end of this video, make sure to comment "Glitter Star sounds like a pony from MLP" to let me know. I hope you enjoyed this video. Follow me on my socials and follow me on my Patreon. Links are in the... I hope you enjoyed this video. Stay beautiful and keep playing.